to start recording. Okay. So today the topic is short topics in orthopedics. Okay. So we'll start with basics of in orthopedics. The first thing is what is bursa. Okay. So see, these are the very common words. These are very common words, but we are not very sure about what is bursa. We just know what is something around bursa. Okay. So bursa is what it is, a fluid filled sac lined by synovial membrane within a synovial fluid. So normally what happens, एक, this is your muscle and this muscle attached to your bone. So this is your ligament. Okay, this is your muscle tendon, and these are the ligaments. So what does bursa? The work of bursa is act as a cushion between the bones and this ligament or tendon. Okay, so tendon, ligament, and between bone there should be a cushion. Okay, so that your tendon would not be wear and tear, or your muscle should not be going into wear and tear. So it is a cushion between your bones, tendon and muscles. Okay, so it's like बोन एंड बाहर का जो भी टेंडन या मसल जो भी रहेगा उन दोनों के बीच का जो भी कवरिंग है या जो भी कुशन के रूप में एक्ट करता है, that is known as bursa. Okay, so if you see this is bursa. So this is bursa. So bursa is a cushion between this and this. So bone and either tendon, muscle, ligament, दोनों के बीच का जो भी कुशन के वे में एक्ट करेगा, that is bursa. Okay, it is a synovial lining रहता है, that's okay. So ये bursa का definition हो गया. So now, bursa is just something fluid filled sac. So obviously, whenever it is irritated, there would be more of fluid secretion inside the bursa because synovial lining रहता है and there is a fluid secretion. Okay. Now there is a two types of fluid secretion. Okay, one is irritative. Irritative मतलब degenerative. Wear and tear से वो होता है. And the second thing is infective. Okay. So infective means inflammation हो गया या फिर टीबी इन्फेक्शन हो गया, पायजेनिक हो गया, उसके कारण there would be, so it is irritative and infective, two type of bursitis. Okay, so in C this is a bursa. So this is a one bone and this is your muscle. इसके पहले this is a bursa, pre-patellar bursa बोलते हैं इसको. So depending upon which is the location, there is a different names of bursa. Okay, so we'll start with pre-patellar bursa. Okay, so patella के pre means patella के पहले, so before patella. So this is your patella. Okay, this is your patella. Patella के पहले, so this is the area of bursa. So normally इसके पहले this quadriceps tendon come, quadriceps tendon इसके ऊपर से जाता है and attached to tibial tuberosity. So between this quadriceps tendon and patella there is a bursa. Okay, this is known as pre-patellar bursa. Pre-patellar means patella के पहले. So pre-patellar bursa बोलते हैं इसको. So any issue in pre-patellar bursa is pre-patellar bursitis. There is a inflammation of the bursa, there's a swelling of the bursa. Okay, so that is pre-patellar bursitis. It is also known as housemaid knee. So this is the MCQ, housemaid knee. So whenever you see a housemaid doing your work at home, so they basically have this attitude where the knee is in 90 degree. So knee is in 90 degree, and because of the regular use of their knee, okay, while doing mopping the floor, okay, they have this pre-patellar bursitis. So pre-patellar bursitis is also known as housemaid knee. Okay. So if you see your housemaid, just check out. There may be swelling of pre-patellar bursitis. So housemaid knee, pre-patellar bursitis. That's the MCQ. Now the next is, this is clergyman. Okay. So this is infrapatellar bursitis. Infrapatellar मतलब this is your patella. Patella के पहले this is pre-patellar. Okay. Patella के नीचे this is infrapatellar. Okay. So infrapatellar bursitis होता है. Now it's superficial deep से नहीं मतलब this is infrapatellar bursitis. Okay, this is suprapatellar. Patella के ऊपर हुआ, that is suprapatellar bursitis. Patella के नीचे infrapatellar bursitis. So this clergyman, the church में clergyman होता है. This worships God in while in this position. So because of that there is a infrapatellar bursitis. Okay, so just remember, because every time you get confused between these two, the housemaid and the clergyman. Okay, which is infrapatellar and which is pre-patellar. Okay, so I will just show you. This is a very good mnemonic. That these worshippers, okay, these worshippers are more inferior to those housemaids. Okay, in nature, in character. So I consider these people as more inferior to, because the housemaid are at least the laborer. They are working for their own, but they are bluffing around. Okay, bluffing around the worshipper. So this is more inferior. So it is a infrapatellar bursitis or this clergyman. Okay, while the housemaids are okay, they are pre-patellar bursitis. So pre-patellar bursitis, infra-patellar bursitis, clergyman knee. So these two things you should remember. Now, the depending upon patella, it can be suprapatellar, prepatellar, infrapatellar. Okay, so see, this is the location. So this is clergyman, where you have this is they are inferior, so they have infrapatellar bursitis. These are the posture of housemaid knee, that is prepatellar. So these are prepatellar, these are infrapatellar. Okay. Now, olecranon bursitis. If you are a student and you are studying for 8 hours, 10 hours by keeping your elbow on the table or something. Okay. So you have this olecranon bursitis. The olecranon is the part of the elbow which rest on the table. Okay. So it's good that you all are not studying hard, so you don't have this olecranon bursitis. But people who are working their asses like 12, 15 hours, they will surely got this olecranon bursitis. So student elbow, olecranon bursitis. Okay. Now this is ischial bursitis. Ischial bursitis, the bone where you sit on either chair, table, anything, is ischial tuberosity. So this is the bone where on which you sit. Okay, on which you sit. So this is ischial tuberosity. This is ischial tuberosity. So if you are sitting for a long time, okay, sitting for a long duration, you will get this ischial bursitis. Okay. So this weavers, so the weaving work is like a long term work, like 24-hour work without shifting from the position. Okay. So actually it is found in these weavers. Okay. Who are working like 10, 24 hours a day. Okay. They are sitting on some wooden chair. Because of that, there is a ischial tuberosity, ischial bursitis. So you got pain in ischial tuberosity. Okay. This is known as ischial bursitis, weaver's bottom. Okay. Now this is Taylor's ankle. So this is something which you have to remember. So see these Taylors. Every time they are doing this to and fro motion, they are lateral malleolus. Lateral malleolus means the fibular lower end. So their lateral malleolus always strike with this wooden this rods, these metallic rods. Okay. So every time they are doing to and fro, their lateral part of the foot or lateral part of the malleolus usually strike with this metallic rods. Okay. And with the time, with the chronic progress of the time, like if they are working for 2-3 years, okay, they will get this lateral malleolus bursitis. Okay. These are known as Taylor's ankle. So in Taylor's, it's very common, Taylor ankle, lateral malleolus. Okay. Now this is very common. Even if you go and see, even in your friends, or it's a very common phenomenon of this type of deformity. So this is known as hallux valgus. ये hallux. So this thumb is known as hallux. Okay, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? This is known as hallux. Hallux बोलते हैं, hallux. Okay. So this is hallux. Obviously, it is not going inside; it is going laterally. Lateral deviation हो रहा है. So it is lateral deviation is valgus. So this condition is known as hallux valgus. Okay. So this type of it is very common. Even if you see in your friends, 2 or 3 of them have this type of fit. Okay, where the thumb is going outward. So this condition is known as hallux valgus. Okay. But in hallux valgus, because of continuous pressure at this area, sometimes it go into inflammation. Okay. So they are known as bunion. Bunion means this area will got inflamed. So this is known as bunion. This is a type of bursitis. Okay. This is a type of bursitis. So it is a bunion. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Bunion. Okay. If normal, if there is no pain, then it is hallux valgus. If there is a problem at this, so first, this is which joint? This is your tarsals, metatarsal phalanges. So first MTP joint. So यहाँ metatarsal होगा. So see this one. This is your metatarsal. This is your phalanges, proximal and distal. So this is MTP joint यहाँ पे रहता है. First MTP joint पे, if there is inflammation, this is bunion. So you remember this word bunion. Okay. Now, so there is the other word. So बड़ा वाला means thumb का जो great toe का the issue is bunia. Sometimes the small toe का भी issue होता है, the small side में. Okay. इसको बोलते हैं bunionate. Okay. Bunionate बोलते हैं. This also happened in tailors. So I had already tell you what is tailor's ankle. Well, tailors usually strike their lateral part of the foot on the metallic rods. Okay, so laterally on the malleolus they have that bursitis. Some on the lower side of their fingers they have bunionate. Okay, so tailor's bunion बोलते हैं इसको और bunionate बोलते हैं fifth toe. So what is bunion? Bunion means ये. Bunion का means क्या हुआ? Bunion is this one. फर्स्ट एमटीपी जॉइंट का जो प्रॉब्लम होता है दैट इज बुनियन. बट टेलर्स बुनियन अगर पूछेगा व्हाट इज टेलर्स बुनियन, तो दिस वन, बिकॉज टेलर्स यूजुअली स्ट्राइक, सो टेलर्स इज ऑल लैटरल, एल इज लैटरल, सो टेलर्स इज ऑल लैटरल. सो लैटरल मींस फिफ्थ फिंगर का अगर ये इशू होता है दैट इज नोन एज टेलर्स बुनियन, और द अदर वर्ड इज बुनियोनेट. Okay, so bunionate or Taylor's bunion is same. This is a fifth finger. Okay, I hope it's clear to you guys. So bunion and bunionate. Now infective bursa. So that all I had told you is irritative. What is irritative means continuous wear and tear, continuous process. Okay, continuous wear and tear, degenerative. Every time it got irritated, some type of fluid secreted. Now the other type of bursitis is infective. So infective means bacterial or it can be tuberculous. Okay. So tuberculous भी हो सकता है, infective भी हो सकता है. Both type of bursa can be found. Okay. So tuberculous bursitis, the most common location is trochanter. Okay. So trochanteric bursa is the most common. So trochanteric किधर होता है? This ये femur हुआ, this femur, this is GT, this is LT. So this bursitis. Okay. So this bursitis is very common. So TB में कौन सा bursitis common होगा? This trochanteric, TB trochanteric. Okay, TB trochanteric bursitis. Okay, now again go again. Now we'll come to so this is very important topic. Okay, so this is frozen shoulder. Okay, so by name, what do you mean by frozen? Frozen means the position in which means you are, the attitude in which you are lying or you are standing or sitting, you will be frozen to that position only. Okay, so that you mean by frozen. Okay, shoulder is a joint. Okay, so shoulder joint ka frozen hona means shoulder joint got restricted. Okay, got restricted or the limitations of movement, that is known as frozen shoulder. So frozen shoulder is a problem. Okay, in elderly individuals like 50s. Okay, where you got a restriction of your shoulder. Okay, it start very gradual. Okay, it start with very gradual with pain and stiffness of your shoulder. Okay, pain, stiffness of shoulder, it is also known as adhesive capsulitis. Okay, so we'll decide what is adhesive means. It means adhesions आना. Capsulitis means जो shoulder का capsule होता है, यहाँ पे जो humerus, ये जो humeral head का जो capsule होता है, ये capsules में क्या होता है, adhesions आते हैं, सब adhesions आते हैं. Okay, adhesions आते हैं और ये सब चिपक जाता है. Okay, सब चिपक जाता है. That is mean adhesive capsulitis. So it is other name of frozen shoulder. Sometimes it is also known as periarthritis shoulder. So shoulder or peri means throughout. So ये पूरा arthritic हो जाता है. So this is your humeral head and this is your glenoid. So ये पूरा arthritic हो जाता है. So it is a पूरा ऐसे arthritis हो जाता है. Okay. So there would be movement का restrictions हो जाता है. So it can be periarthritic shoulder or it can be adhesive capsulitis. So these are the different names of the frozen shoulder. So what happens in frozen shoulder? Elderly in individual 40 to 50 or 50 to 60 age, where they got pain and stiffness of their shoulder without any problem, like any, there is no trauma, there is no infection, there is no fever. All of a sudden there would be a pain and stiffness. You can have, you ask in your family, your uncle or anybody, your father, anybody, they may have this type of problem. This is a very common problem in 50s or 60s age. So frozen shoulder is very common. Okay, so adhesive capsulitis and periarthritis shoulder बोलते हैं. Progressive pain and stiffness होता है and it resolve by its own. Okay, so after 1.5 year, it takes 1.5 year to resolve. Okay, so see, 1.5 year is too much. So every time they feel that there is some problem going on, because obviously 1.5 year waiting is not a good issue. Okay, because nobody can wait for 1.5 year. If you tell no, it will be correct by 1.5 year, it's too much. Okay, for individual to have restricted their shoulder for 1.5 year. So frozen shoulder ये होता है. Okay, so see, so क्या होता है frozen shoulder में? So normal, you see the normal cross joints is very good. There is adhesive capsulitis. So in the capsules में क्या होता है, adhesions होते हैं. So because of inflammatory process going on, it start sticking to each other. Okay, adhesions होने चालू होते हैं. Okay, ये नए नए inflammatory problems होते हैं and चिपकना इधर चालू होता है. So what happens is fibroblast बढ़ते हैं and adhesions start होते हैं. Now, so there's a lack of, so obviously I had already told you that there will be lack of restricted movement. So restricted movement hoga shoulder ke throughout the shoulder, flexion, extension, internal rotation, abduction, adduction, all movement will be restricted. If you consider a patient comes with only one restriction, like abduction restricted hai, then you can have say, it have maybe have supraspinatus tear. If internal rotation restricted hai, then it can be subscapularis. If external rotation में issues hai, then it can be infraspinatus and teres minor. But overall, if all movements are restricted, that means there is no issue of rotator, because you cannot have all muscles damaged. So it is a more of issue of frozen shoulder. So lack of movement, active and passive. What is active? What is passive? Passive means if you are helping the patient to move, flexion, extension, you are helping. Okay. Active means patient doing the movements actively by its own. So both type of movements should be restricted. Okay, because there are adhesions in the shoulder joint. Okay. So most common cause is diabetes. Okay. So most common cause is diabetes and thyroid. So anytime a patient come with restricted shoulder, we always ask these two tests to do: diabetes and thyroid. Okay. Most of the times it has seen that patient with diabetes, okay, with uncontrolled diabetes has more this frozen shoulder. Patient with thyroid, with hyperthyroid, have this type of symptoms. So if the symptoms of frozen shoulder are like related to diabetes and thyroid, we ask them to control their diabetes and thyroid. Because of controlling of diabetes and thyroid, the frozen shoulder symptoms will be regressing. Okay. So diabetes and thyroid is most common. Okay. I had just put it just to remember at least two of this. So diabetes and thyroid you should remember in frozen shoulder. This you cannot, if you don't want to, it's okay. Age is 40 to 60 year. Global restriction should be there. Okay. And the first effect is internal rotation. Okay. So first effect is internal rotation. So how will you check internal rotation? So you can do this belly press test. I had already told you belly press test you can do. So if the patient is unable to do belly press test, that is internal rotation. So first movement would be internal rotation. Now this is some. So we are now confirm about frozen shoulder. So frozen shoulder 40 to 60 year diabetic, 40 to 60 year diabetic thyroid. Okay. Global restriction of movement, also known as adhesive capsulitis or periarthritis shoulder. Adhesions होते हैं, फाइब्रोब्लास्ट का proliferation होता है, adhesions होते हैं. First movement affected is internal rotation. You test by belly press test. Okay. 1 से 1.5 साल लगता है to recover. Okay. Nothing, you have to observe. You cannot do anything. The treatment is just physiotherapy. You start physiotherapy, it will recover by its own. Okay. Now this is some different type of problem. This is not a painful arc syndrome. So painful arc syndrome में क्या होता है? You have to be very concentrated for this topic. Okay. So painful arc syndrome is something very difficult. So this is the arc. Okay. This is the arc. So this is like 60-degree, 120-degree, and 120 to 180-degree. So the problem of painful arc syndrome is the pain would be in only this position. So from 60 to 120-degree, there would be a pain. Okay. The rest of the time there would be no pain. Okay. So initially there would be no pain. Later on there is no pain. So this only 60 to 120-degree. This area would be the painful area. So this is the painful arc syndrome. Okay. What happens? I will tell you. Okay? So painful arc syndrome means between 160 to 120, mid range of movement, there would be pain. Okay. That is known as painful arc syndrome. So you see this acronym. So we'll again learn this. So this is humeral head. Okay. This is humeral head. Then this is your muscles. Okay. This is your supraspinatus. So supraspinatus होता है यहाँ muscle. ऊपर से acromion होता है. So what happens? I will just told you. So ये मसल्स होता है, सुप्रास्पाइनेटस मसल होता है, ऊपर एक्रोमियन होता है. सो ऊपर एक्रोमियन होगा, इधर एक्रोमियन है, ठीक है, ये ह्यूमरल हेड है. ओके. एंड बीच में सुप्रास्पाइनेटस टेंडन होता है. ओके. सो ये स्पेस को एक्रोमियन के नीचे के जो स्पेस होता है ना, इसको बोलते हैं सब एक्रोमियल स्पेस. सब मींस लोअर. तो ये एक्रोमियन के नीचे जो स्पेस होता है, दैट इज नोन एज सब एक्रोमियल स्पेस. तो ये स्पेस को सब एक्रोमियल स्पेस बोलता है. क्या होता है विद टाइम दिस सुप्रास्पाइनेटस में क्या होता है, ये जो स्पेस होता है, ये स्पेस जो होता है, ये स्पेस देयर इज व्हाट यू से the space is decreased. Why the space is decreased? Sometimes this muscle का क्या होता है, मसल में कुछ कैल्सिफिकेशन होता है, हाइपरट्रॉफी होता है, उसके कारण स्पेस डिक्रीज होता है. समटाइम्स शोल्डर में शोल्डर का फ्रैक्चर होता है या फिर शोल्डर का हाइपरट्रॉफी होता है जिसके कारण स्पेस कम हो जाता है. समटाइम्स बर्सा होता है यहाँ पे, सब एक्रोमियल बर्सा, उसका स्वेलिंग बढ़ जाता है. सो द स्पेस ऑफ सब एक्रोमियल बर्सा, जो सब एक्रोमियल स्पेस जो होता है, subacromial space is occupied by normal by a simple bursa, which is known as subacromial bursa, supraspinatus tendon, and then humeral head. So anything happen in between, in either spinatus tendon में हो गया या humeral head में हो गया या bursa में हो गया, so this space would be decreased. As soon as this space would be decreased, whenever you are doing abduction, so abduction के समय क्या होता है, after 60 degree it start impinging on this, the this head start impinging on the muscle, and it will arise to give you pain. Okay, so supraspinatus, the work of supraspinatus is abduction. So while abduction, if you got pain, so it is a supraspinatus pain. So while abduction, if you are in between 60 to 120 degrees, is a pain. This is because of the impingement of the tendon by a humeral head into the subacromial bursa. So subacromial bursa space may, sorry for that. In subacromial space, there is impingement of that muscle. So that is known as painful arc syndrome. Okay, so we'll again go. So this is because of the impingement. So space between the humerus and acromion is compromised. Humerus and acromion के बीच का space compromise होता है. Okay. So you see this supraspinatus tendon, this bursa is there because of the bursitis, the space decrease, and because of that there is a problem on the impingement on this muscle. Okay, it is because of this supraspinatus का tear हो सकता है. You can have tendinitis, you can have calcification, any inflammation in the supraspinatus tendon. Then you can have bursitis, then you can have fracture of GT. So if GT got fracture here, okay, so ये supraspinatus जो आके कहाँ चिपकता है, the origin of supraspinatus is from GT. So GT से there is three muscle, SIT, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and teres minor. So if you have a GT fracture, the supraspinatus का क्या होगा? The origin avulsion हो जाएगा, and every time you abduct, there would be pain. Okay, so because of these reasons, there would be pain. So see this test. Okay, this is knee impingement test. So this is known as knee impingement test. What happens whenever you extend this? It's not extend. What is it? While doing flexion, I will show you and then we'll talk.
Raise the arm up so that the patient is close to here. What happened here will be pushing a tendon through the coping process, and after that 2 or 3 tendons into the surface of the coping and coping tendon. That will cause pain right here in the lateral. This can also be positive as tendonitis of the long head of the bicep tendon to come in there as well. Again, this is a new step for impingement syndrome.
So we had studied this word. Okay, knee is for shoulder humerus, humeral head के लिए, humeral head fracture का there is a classification by knee. Okay, so there is a knee test where क्या होता है ये, this hand it should be in flexion. Okay, why flexion? The humeral head in flexion you go up to this more than this 120 degree. Okay, so there would be again impingement. Okay, so normally what happens in painful arc syndrome where you are doing abduction. Okay, while in abduction there is a pain. Knee impingement test is the same as an impingement test where if you do flexion, okay, if you do flexion of your humerus, there would be pain because of the impingement. Okay, so this is known as a knee impingement test. Okay, because of the same problem. Now the next thing is
Just slightly.
there's a Hawking's test. Okay, so see this Hawking test. What is Hawking impingement? So there's two type of impingement test. One is Hawking test and one is knee impingement. So knee impingement mein you have to do flexion, while in Hawking test you have to do internal rotation. So internal rotation कैसे करते हैं? We just we just flex the humerus and keep the elbow in 90 degree, and we'll try to do internal flexion. So see this, he's flexing the elbow, he's flexing the shoulder and keeping the elbow at 90 degree, and then try to do the internal rotation. While doing internal rotation, the patient experience pain. That is known as Hawking's impingement test. So these two are impingement test. Impingement test is mainly done for subacromial space impingement. Okay. So because of the supraspinatus and there is a impingement. So both are impingement test. One is knee impingement and one is Hawking's impingement test. So you should remember these two names. Okay. Now, what is the treatment of this painful arc syndrome? So painful arc syndrome is because of some supraspinatus issue, supraspinatus tendinitis, supraspinatus calcium deposition and everything. So one is you have to give anti-inflammatory because there's an inflammatory process going on your tendon. So NSAID is the treatment. Okay, NSAID is the treatment. The other thing is ultrasonic. So in physiotherapy, if you go, they usually give ultrasonography or ultrasonic. It's not ultrasonography, it's ultrasonic. So there are some ultrasonic rays or some radiations go on the tendon and it decreases the inflammation. The other things to decrease inflammation is hydrocortisone. These are the steroids. So it will decrease. So main aspect is to decrease inflammation either by NSAID, by steroids or ultrasonic. Okay. Now, so we'll again, I think, revise that portion before going to this. So painful arc 60 to 20 degree, there would be pain in this mid arc, okay, because of the humeral acromial space compromise. This is shoulder impingement because of supraspinatus tendinitis. The supraspinatus का attachment GT पे होता है, so GT fracture also cause this. Maybe bursitis may cause this. Okay. There is a test, knee impingement test. There's a Hawking's test where you do internal rotation. Okay. So this test treatment is anti-inflammatory. Okay. Now we'll come to tennis elbow. Okay. So tennis elbow is syndrome. It's not syndrome. Tennis elbow is a problem in the lateral epicondyle. So in humerus, if you see your distal humerus, you have medial epicondyle, you can have lateral epicondyle. So you feel lateral epicondyle. Lateral epicondyle is the insertion point of the extensor tendons. Okay. So if you have studied first year, you can know so in your forearm मतलब wrist के पास वाला जो area है, distal to elbow is forearm, proximal to elbow is arm. So this is your forearm. ये forearm होता है. This is your arm. Okay. So in forearm में flexors होते हैं, extensors होते हैं. Flexors का common origin होता है medial epicondyle. Okay. And extensors का common origin होता है this lateral epicondyle. So lateral common epicondyle is the origin point of the common extensor tendons. Okay. So यहाँ से सारे tendons निकलते हैं. Sometimes because of movements, okay, because of the movements, some sort of movements, this happens. Okay, so every time there is some movement, there is some strain on that origin point. Okay, so if there is any tear or any inflammation on that lateral epicondyle from where the extensors are arising, okay, so there will be a syndrome, there will be a problem known as tennis elbow. So tennis elbow is lateral epicondylitis. So itis means inflammation, lateral epicondyle. Okay, so you just remember this Sania Mirza tennis player, L for lady and L for lateral. Okay, so it will simplify. So L for lateral epicondyle. Okay, so lateral epicondyle हो गया, ठीक है. Lateral epicondyle से extensors का tendon का tear होता है या inflammation होता है. Okay. Now, which are the main muscle affected? So Sania Mirza is I think short in height. Okay, so there is a ECRL होता है. एक्सटेंसर के दो मसल्स होते हैं, एक ECRL होता है, रेडियलिस लॉन्गस होता है, एक रेडियलिस ब्रेविस होता है. ओके, सो ब्रेविस जो होता है शॉर्ट बोन. ओके, जो ब्रेविस का मीनिंग होता है स्मॉल, लॉन्गस का मीनिंग होता है लॉन्ग. सो ECRB इज ए स्मॉल मसल. ओके, सो related to Sania height, okay, it is small. So like ECRB is the main muscle affected among all the extensors. So all the extensors are affected. But among all extensors, ECRB is the most common to be affected. So ECRB is the most common muscles to be affected in this tennis elbow. Okay, there is a test known as Cogen test. Okay, so I remember why the name of Cogen test is why ECRB is affected because Sania Mirza height is stunted or small. So because के word से this Cogen test आता है. So because when this is a local language in WhatsApp. So because and Cogen test. Okay. So what is Cogen test? I will show you. So this Cogen test you see. Sorry. So any test you have to do any sort of test now. If any muscles, so if the muscles are extensor, so you have to test extension. Okay. So if the muscles affected is extensors, so you do extension. Okay. So which extension you will do of forearm? The wrist extension. The ECRB is a radialis brevis. So you do radial deviation of your wrist and do extension. Whenever you do radial deviation of your wrist and do extension, the ECRB would be stretched and it will give rise to pain. So Cogen test, you stabilize the elbow. Okay, feel for the lateral epicondyle. Ask the patient to radially tilt the wrist and do the extension. So ECRB, Cogen test, Sania Mirza, lady, lateral epicondylitis, and tennis elbow. Okay. So what is the treatment? Obviously, it is an inflammation of the origin. So obviously, anti-inflammatory NSAID and steroid. Okay. Now this is a golfer's elbow, opposite to the tennis elbow. There's a golfer's elbow. So while playing shots, okay, of high intensity, these golfers have this medial epicondylitis. Already told you it's arising of the common flexors origin. So medial condylitis का pain हुआ, it's known as golfer's elbow. Okay. So what is the treatment of golfer elbow? The same. Give anti-inflammatory. Okay. Then this is very important. Okay. So this is very important and it's decurvient tenosynovitis. So the name is very Italian and French name. So decurvience बोलते हैं इसको decurvience tenosynovitis. Why known as tenosynovitis? Tendon का जो synovial sheath होता है उसका problem होता है. Okay. उसका inflammation होता है. So normally what happens? So in the wrist joint these tendons come. Okay. So if you feel your radial styloid area, where is the radial styloid? You go below your thumb area. So thumb के just नीचे जाने का. So this area is radial styloid area. Okay. So you feel that radial styloid area in your own body. Okay. You will feel and you start moving your thumb. You can make out there is two tendons going inside. Okay. And these tendons while going is through a sheath. Okay. So ऐसा एक sheath रहता है and in this sheath there is two tendon going on. Okay. यहाँ पे bone रहता है. This is bone. And this is sheath and these two tendons are going. Okay, these two tendons are going with age because of this tendon ka either hypertrophy, wear and tear, the space got decreased. Okay, the space got decreased. So every time the space got decreased and every time you move your thumb there would be pain in your radial styloid area. So that is known as tenosynovitis. There's a tendon sheath inflammation. Okay, so there's an entrapment of tendon sheath. Okay, there's two muscles. Okay, this is Bela is a full form of two muscles, extensor brevis. So extensor brevis and abductor longus. Okay, I will show you how to do that. So Bela is, so see this is B. Okay, so this is B, this is A. So one is abductor. Okay, one is abductor. This is longus. So abductor pollicis longus हो गया. Now this is extensor. Okay, this is brevis. So extensor pollicis brevis हो गया. Okay, so this is Bela. I don't know how I remember. So Bela is thing which you can solve these two. So E is extensor, B is brevis, B is abductor, and L is longus. So abductor pollicis longus and extensor brevis. These are the two tendons which are going through the decurvient tenosynovitis. That's all for decurvient tenosynovitis.